I'm Militant Ginger, and one of the reasons I'm so awesome is because I drive old cars. Like this 1989 Lincoln Town Car. Like this 1989 Ford Crown Victoria County Squire wagon. And this, my 1978 Cadillac Eldorado Baritz Custom Classic. Now, one of the problems with driving old cars, though, is that not everything always works on them. In fact, on the old Panther cars, those are the Lincoln Town Car, the Ford Crown Victoria, and the Grand Marquis, one of the typical problems you have is the rear windows don't go up and down. But fortunately, fixing it isn't that difficult. Now, the first thing to do is establish what's wrong. Normally what happens, when your window works fine, is you press the button, and it goes up and down like that. Now, one problem that you may encounter is that you press the button to go up and down, window stays where it is, and you hear some horrible mangled crunching noise. That means your regulator's bad. Now, I'm going to show you how to fix one of those another day. But what's probably going to happen is you're going to press this little switch, and nothing's going to happen. You're going to have complete silence. Here's one I prepared earlier. As you can see, I do the switch, and nothing happens. That means the window motor is bad. And so to fix the window, I'm going to have to replace that. Now, it can seem a little intimidating, and if you take it to a mechanic, they're going to charge you like $400 per window to do it. But it's okay, it's reasonably straightforward to do yourself, and I'm going to show you exactly how. And just in case you're wondering, it's the same technique whether it's a Lincoln Town Car, a Grand Marquis, or a Ford Crown Victoria. First thing you'll need is a replacement motor for each of the windows you're trying to fix. You can buy these for about $30 online. Then you'll need a crosshead screwdriver, a hammer with one of these things for taking nails out of the back, an electric power drill, make sure it's charged, and this is the important part, a 1/2 inch drill bit for metal, has to be 1/2 inch. Finally, you'll need a ratchet and a 5/16 bolt that is 1/2 inch wide, 1/2 inch in diameter. This is why I've got a little extension thing that clicks on there. Has to be 1/2 inch, otherwise it's not going to fit. Now, the first thing you're going to have to do is remove this door panel. Don't worry, it's really easy. Okay, you want to start with this little ashtray here. Open it up and you'll see 2 screws, here and here. Next, pull out this little panel. There we go. And you can unclip the light, and you can unplug the bits to the cigarette lighter. This leaves you with the switches. There are 2 screws here, undo those, and the whole thing just pulls off. Make sure you don't lose these screws. There we go. So keep this somewhere safe. And empty the cigarette ash out of it first. Next, you want to take off the silver part around the door handle. That's easy. There's a little screw in here, undo that, and it lifts straight out. Voila! To get at the door panel itself, there are 2 screws underneath the door handle. Here, and here. Undo those. There's one more where the ashtray was. And you're not done yet. There are 2 more screws. One here, and one down here. You might have to fiddle around in the carpet to find it. And once you've got both of those, this door panel should come straight off. Job done. Next, take off all this beautiful little padding here. I tend to use the back of a hammer and pop out these little rivets. It's up to you whether you want to keep this stuff or not. Personally, I recommend throwing it away. This stuff is the original factory seal that closed up to stop any water coming through the door. The cool thing is, you can see when your car was built by looking at the date on it. 6/6/89, so this car's birthday is the 6th of June 1989. Well, unfortunately, you have to do the same thing with the padding. Rip it off. So this is your window winder motor. First thing you'll need to do, pull out the little plug and unplug it. Now you'll notice something very, very weird. There doesn't seem to be any screws or bolts to unbolt this. That's because they're actually behind the metal. There are 3 little dimples here, and to get at it you have to drill holes in them. Yep, I'm not even joking. So you'll need to take your 1/2 inch drill bit, line it up with each dimple, and start drilling. Now it's time for number 2. And finally, number 3. That's what you're left with, 3 holes. And if you look through them, you should be able to see the screws that hold on the window winder motor. Okay, so next you want to take your 5/16 socket wrench and make sure it's a very small one. It has to be at least 1/2 inch or smaller, otherwise it won't fit in the holes. Squeeze it in there, lock it in, and you should be able to undo the bolts. Here's number 2. Now here we go, here is bolt number 3. As you can see, this 1/2 inch ratchet and the 1/2 inch holes are a pretty tight fit. You might have to force it in there. There we go. But once you do, it will latch on, and then you can start unbolting the bolt. And it should bring it out as it comes. And here we go. Here's the motor. Now it's time to replace it with the new one. Ooh, shiny. Get that ready there. Now normally what happens is, with your box, you'll get a variety of different plugs you can use. So find the one that lines up with this plug here. Plug it into the end of your window winder motor, and then you'll be all set for plugging it in there once you've finished installing it. Okay, the next part is where it gets tricky. Get your new motor, put it in the correct position, and line up the old holes with the new motor and put it in. You might need to use a screwdriver to actually force each screw in so you can actually get to it. Once it's in there, use your socket wrench and start tightening. Here goes bolt number 2. And here comes the third one. I'm not going to lie, this one tends to be the trickiest. Again, I would aim it for the correct hole, push it in with a screwdriver, lock and load, and it looks like we've got it. Now once you tighten them all up, you're good to go. Take your plug, feed it through this little bit here, as it was before, plug her in, snap it back in place, and you're ready for the moment of truth. Turn on the ignition, and you can use this little knot here to see whether it works or not. Looks like we did it. Awesome. Now we can put the rest of the panels back on. When you're putting the top panel on, make sure to line it up from the top first. You'll need to put the little lock thing through the hole. Make sure all of it goes over the big lip. Should fit nice and snugly. Then, make sure you get your cable wires, pull them through the hole where the ashtray goes. There should be the 2 little knobs here and the wires here, and then finally line up the rest. Might need to do a bit of fiddling about. Looking good. I'd recommend starting off with the screw here and down here in the carpet bit. Then there's the screw inside the door handle and the one above that. And don't forget the one in the ashtray. Next, take your door handle trim, flip that back on. And do up the little bolt securing it here. And finally, there's the exciting bit, the ashtray. I would clip the little light on first. Plug in the cigarette lighter. Then get your switches, plug them in, and do up the 2 screws there. Then it's time to put the ashtray back on, clip them in, and you'll have 2 little screws. Tighten this puppy up. And just one last thing to do. Give the windows another test. Job done. Hopefully you'll join us next time for more exciting car repairs. Bye.